Hi everyone, I'm Marcus Anthony and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about credit cards. Now in my last video we talked a little bit about Dave Ramsey and his 7 baby steps, and that kind of gave you a glimpse of what Dave Ramsey's all about. But one thing that I didn't touch on that's very important to his philosophy as far as finance goes is credit cards. He has a complete disdain for them, and so in this video let's talk about why and how important it is to have a credit card if you are responsible with your money. So before we really get into the video, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button super quick. It doesn't take any time at all. It would really help out my video, and it would really help out my channel in general, get these videos out to as many people as I possibly can. And if you agree or disagree on my opinion about credit cards or any of these finance videos, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. And then if you like the content and you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll stay tuned on all the videos that I make. So without further ado, let's get into the video. As many of you may or may not know, a credit card is something that you can use to purchase something without having to pay for it all up front. So example is you buy something for $100 with a credit card. You're basically saying, okay, right now I'm not going to pay for it in full, but that $100 is going to be something that I'm going to have to pay off later. And that's the big allure with credit cards, is that you can purchase things without having the necessary funds in your account. And a little bit of background on how banks and some bigger companies use these credit cards to their advantage is that they charge something called an interest rate. Let's say you pay something that's $100 and you can only pay it off $70 worth right now. So you still have $30 that's a balance on your account. The banks and the credit card companies, they would charge an interest rate off of that $30 left over that you didn't pay at the end of the month. So it's very important to pay off your statement as soon as you can and not let there be any remaining balance left over, so it keeps snowballing into the next month. You have to pay interest on that, and then if you can't pay that off, then you get a 15% interest or whatever percent interest on that as well. And so it just keeps snowballing and it gets worse and worse for you. It can be very dangerous if you use your credit card recklessly. And along with using your credit card recklessly, your credit score can be damaged very badly by this. If you can't pay off your credit card every month, then that's going to dean on your credit score and it's going to go down. And then that makes it more difficult in the future for you to buy a house or take out a loan from the bank. It's because they'll look at your credit history and be, oh, that's not, you don't have a good history of having credit, having to pay off a balance, and are being responsible enough to pay that off. Banks like consistency, and when you're being reckless, that's not being consistent at all. But on the other side of that, having a credit card and being responsible with it can go a long way when you can start looking for houses and buying a house. If your credit score is higher, banks are more likely to loan you money because you've shown in the past that you're responsible with the loans that you've done previously. So now let's talk about Dave Ramsey and his thoughts on credit cards and why he hates them and despises them above all else. So his core philosophy is you don't want to have debt at all. He thinks that mortgages are fine, but in general that you should be paying everything with cash. Now I understand where he's coming from, because if you pay in cash, you're actually seeing that money physically, and that might trigger something in your brain like, oh, do I really want to pay $100? That's 520s. Do I really want to pay that right now? Or is this a purchase that I can hold off on until I have those $520 bills to pay it off? You can change your mentality that way if you don't have a credit card, that you can just instant gratification. But it's just very, you're treating everyone like a child, essentially, not thinking that they're responsible. And don't get me wrong, there are people that are very irresponsible with their money and buy everything when they want it, even though they don't need it. So I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, people are adults. You need to start treating them like adults, and having a credit card is essential when you're an adult looking to buy a house, building your credit. You have to have a credit card, or at least take out a loan somehow. You can't have a credit score of 0 and expect to be able to get a house very easily or be qualified for a loan. Now, I would recommend that sticking to a budget is extremely important, And with a credit card, and if you're irresponsible with money, you need to stick to a budget and be very strict about it. Because otherwise you're gonna be, oh, well, I have an extra $100 this month. I'm just gonna spend it on whatever using my credit card. When you could take that $100 and, like I said in previous videos, put it into a Roth IRA and let that thing grow like crazy. But you just need to be responsible with a credit card and really think about your purchases and not be stupid about it. So now, if you don't know what a credit card is and you don't know the benefits of having a credit card, I'm just going to touch on it real quick. You can use your credit card purchases for points. Some credit cards, they have 5 times points. You could get cash back, 2% cash back. I'm sure you've seen all the commercials and you've seen all the ads on it. But having those perks, those rewards, it can pay off in the long run, because if you accumulate enough points, you can pay for an entire vacation or an entire flight without having to use your own money. It's just points that you've accumulated by using your credit card. And you could take a vacation, theoretically, if you save up enough, you could take an entire vacation for free using these points, because you could pay for the hotel and the flight with your credit card. It's kind of a no-brainer that why use cash when you could just use a credit card to pay for your normal everyday stuff like groceries or gas and earn some rewards off of that. It's pretty easy. And another potential benefit of having a credit card is being able to stretch out your purchases longer. Now, I do not recommend this at all. If you buy something with your credit card, you should be paying it off that month, so you don't have an interest rate that keeps snowballing for the future, so your debt ends up being a lot more. But if you're in a tight spot financially and you absolutely need a new AC unit, it's the middle of summer. I don't know about where you are, but in Idaho, a couple days ago it was 104. Like, you need AC. So if you want to use your credit card to buy that and then pay that off later because you don't have the money right now, that's kind of something that is essential, and that would be an exception. But if it's a new Gucci bag or Balenciaga shoes or something stupid, you shouldn't be paying that with a credit card unless you have the funds in your account so you could pay it off immediately. One thing that might be a little confusing about credit cards is to have the higher rewards and the higher benefits with points and cashback and everything, you might have to pay an annual fee. My credit card doesn't have an annual fee, but some of the ones that offer higher rewards, they might. So just be aware of that when you're looking to get a credit card. Just something to be aware of. So anyway, that's my take on credit cards. I hope you found the information to be helpful. And if you're thinking about getting a credit card and you don't have one right now, hopefully you take this information and you make your own smart financial decision out of it. If you enjoyed the video, again, if you could just leave a like button on your way out, that'd be awesome. If you want me to talk about a topic that I haven't yet and I'm not thinking about that, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I can definitely move that up to the top of my list as far as what I do a video on. And then if you like my content and you want to see more when I do upload, which is twice a week, by the way, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned on the journey. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.